guys, in today's video I'm going to show you something special. If you've heard of Pipenv, this is a cool little neat utility that helps you create a virtual environment for your Python project, and then you can install all the dependencies in there and it wouldn't corrupt sort of your larger environment, so you can maintain different versions of the library. Another thing is, like, for quick scripts, I like to use the default IDLE interface that comes with Python on Windows, because it really helps you kind of like iterate quickly using the REPL environment, which I haven't been able to kind of like figure out on Visual Studio Code or anything like that. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is open up a command prompt window. So this is showing up on my different screen. Just go in a command prompt, and again it's on my other screen. And let's say you want to make a project, right? So I'm gonna do a this is the directory in which you will have your Pipenv project. So you can essentially do pipenv install pandas. So it's going to take a while. It will create this virtual environment. That's what's happening right now on screen. And then it's successfully created the virtual environment, and now it's installing the pandas library on it. My antivirus has just picked it up, so it's gonna do some scanning around this, and we'll just have to wait until this is done. So while this is going on, I will just quickly create a notepad file where we're going to be doing the actual code. So let's just open up a notepad here. Okay, and I don't usually use Notepad, but in this circumstance, well, you'll figure out why I'm using that. So I quickly looked this up on Stack Overflow, and hopefully you're going to be using it with Python 3.6 or later. 3.8 is the current version in the market right now. And we're going to take this and basically this little piece of code, and that's what we're going to put in our notepad file. And I'm just going to format that. So what this essentially will do is we will run this piece of code in the environment. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to save this as main.py, and some of the pip files are being created by all the pandas installation that's happening in the background. We'll go do this. So this is the piece of code that we'll call from our command line, which will open up an idle window for us. So back in our command line, we have all this installation work is done. I'm just gonna see, yeah, we've got everything here, and you can then do pipenv shell, which opens up the shell environment for Pipenv, so the virtual environment in which all of your libraries are installed. And it gave this weird name called temp dash whatever, some random string to identify that project. And over here now, this is just a separate sort of shell environment where we can run Python as usual. So I'm going to do python main.py, which is the file we just created. And what this is going to do is open up the idle program for us. And this takes like a few seconds. Okay, it's opened up on this window over here. Okay, so what you will now figure out is pandas should already be available in this environment. So if I do import pandas as pd, it's important. So now what I want to do is I don't want to run, I don't want to run, I don't typically like to write the code here. So what I'll do is, I'll experiment with some of the code and I will keep documenting that in a new file that I will run every time. So, whatever code seems to work, I will put that in a separate file. So I opened up another sort of window from within IDLE here, and I'm going to save that as another file. So let's just call this script.py because this is what it's going to be. And over here, for example, I'm going to define variables, do whatever work I need to do. For the sake of demonstration, is going to be, I'm going to define a variable called name and call it Shoaib, and save it. And now I'm going to run this. Okay, F5. And so when I run this script here, it actually executes in this virtual environment shell that we invoked from the CMD. It's kind of like an inception going on here. So to demonstrate that it's picking up, it should have the variable name defined. So, I typed that in and the variable name was defined. So this is how you can kind of set up and use IDLE in the Pipenv environment. And I do really recommend that you give Pipenv a try, because you don't want to corrupt your sort of global namespace with a lot of different libraries and dependencies. This is something I avoided for a very long time, but it's really worth it. So hopefully that was good and you guys enjoyed that and learned something new. If you want to keep hearing stuff like this, just subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.